Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job, so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter turbo engine. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash. Visit ChevyCyberCash.com today.
Welcome, everyone. You're listening to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Pizza Ranch Studios. We're all back together. I got my trusted sidekicks with me, scoreboard guy Newcomb, and the coach of the year, Mr. Darren Archer. You can call him DA. Hey, fellas, glad to see you. How's everyone feeling? Doing all right? Give me the thumbs up if you're ready to rock and roll. Thumbs down if you turning brown. All right, here we go. All right. High school basketball, gentlemen. That was what was on our plate. We had a lot of it the last couple weeks. Boys and girls 1 through 6 classes played down here at the good old Great Southern Bank Arena. Gentlemen, talk to us about it. Talk to me about it in our audience. Let us know how things went. Guy, we're going to start with you today. Tell us about the tournament and the 1 through 6 champions, girls and boys, Guy.
Well, I tell you what, I've seen more basketball in person and on television in the last 14 days than I probably ever in my life. Sitting there courtside on the bench in a couple of games with the state tournaments coming in. But in Class 1, we'll just run through the girls here real quick. In Class 1 girls, it was Meadville defeating Chadwick 39-28 in the championship game. Meadville finishes the season 31-0, and they've got a lot of pieces coming back to that Meadville team. Class 2 girls, Tipton kind of blew out Bishop LeBlanc, won by 19 points, 55-36, and it's a Tipton team that have been beating bigger schools all year long, and they have got some size to them there at Tipton. The Cardinals are going to be good again next year. Class 3, Fair Grove wins the first state title in any sport in their high school history as they defeat a very good and defending state champion El Dorado Springs team, 54-52, a tremendous game. Jenny Talbert did a great job down the stretch, and so they come out on top there in Class 3. Class 4 girls, it was Vashon. Vashon girls, they get Benton 79-71, a St. Joe team that had beaten Central Park Hills to get to the championship game. But Vashon, they come out on top there. And in Class 5 on the girls' side, Carl Junction makes it to the state championship game. They were 29-2 coming into that game, and they get beat by Lutheran St. Charles. And Arch and I talked about this going in, and and Lutheran beat a very good West Plains team by 21 points in the semifinals. But Lutheran St. Charles, they get their state championship in Class 5 girls. Class 6 girls, Incarnate Word, and you could have penciled them in probably at the beginning of the season. They got a 6'2" point guard, Natalie Potts. That's going to Nebraska. She's a dominant player, maybe the best player in the state of Missouri right now on the girls' side. She's won 3 state titles. Would have been 4 had they played one in the COVID year. That was Incarnate's Word's 6th consecutive state championship on the girls' side, and that was their 100th win in a row when they defeated Rockbridge in the championship game by 27 points, 57-30. And coincidentally, their last loss was February 8th, 2019, to that very same Rockbridge team. And this is the first time that they've played them since that loss. And we all know about Rockbridge and their history in the girls' state championships. They've had a great run. Going into going into the boys' side, Class 1, South Iron becomes just the 3rd team on the boys' side in history to win at least three consecutive state titles. Now, Scott County Central did it twice, but South Iron, Dusty Dinkins, just a tremendous job last year and the year before, but this year 56-47 winner off over a very good St. Elizabeth team in Class 1. In Class 2 boys, it was Salisbury. Kenny White, the head coach there at Salisbury, they had a very difficult week going into that game after the quarterfinal game that put them in the Final Four. Had one of their players, starters, that passed away in his sleep. following that quarterfinal game. And so they came with heavy hearts, and they weren't going to come to the state championship game, but the young man's parents insisted that they do come, and they played a Principia team who some folks didn't think should have been there because they were involved in a game in the quarterfinals with in the sectionals with Cooter, where the scorebook was wrong, and so they maybe should have won that game, but they didn't. But Salisbury gets it done, and in Class 3 boys, it was Central New Madrid County, and I believe it's the 12th, maybe state championship for Lennis, something similar to that. But Lennis McFerrin has been
10th.
there 10th, been there forever. And asked him in the post game, why do you keep coming back? And he said, because I'm stupid. He's 70 years old and still coaching there, and he's a legend in that part of the country. And so he gets his 10th state championship. And in Class 4 boys, Vashon and Tony Ayers Jr. Gets a state championship there. They beat Central Park Hills 64-37. And a lot of folks talking about maybe they could have won the Class 5 and 6 state championships. But Cardinal Ritter is your Class 5 state champion. They beat Ladue 65-54. And your Class 6 state champion is Staley. And Coach Chris Neff, I believe he said it was his 9th Final Four, but his first state championship. He had been there a lot with St. Joe Lafayette. He was at Webster Groves as an assistant and got a couple of rings there, but this is his first, and had a great conversation with him on the Missouri Sports Network earlier today that went out, actually maybe playing tomorrow as well. So that's kind of – and they beat a good Kickapoo team. And it was the second time they beat them. The first time they beat them by maybe 30 in the Tournament of Champions. But Kickapoo was up 4 early in the third quarter in this contest. And Staley just kind of turned the heat up. They played just great defense, and they're so long. They got 4 kids going on to play at the next level, one going to Iowa State, I believe, and the Caden Fish kid. But Kickapoo, a great effort by Kickapoo and their seniors and Coach McHenry there at Kickapoo. So that kind of winds down the high school basketball, and this will be the last time for 5 years that it's going to be played in Springfield. And I think that's a shame because the atmosphere was tremendous. And it has been each of the 5 previous years it's been here. Actually, it's been here for 6, but the COVID year, they canceled part of that. But so that's why they got it for a 6th season. But congratulations to all the state champions, and we're doing our best to get them on the Missouri Sports Network.
Good deal. Congratulations to him. DA, I want to hit you up real quick and talk about that atmosphere and what the loss of it might mean to the Missouri High School Athletics Association with it moving to Columbia. Tell me about the atmosphere this past couple weekends over at the Great Southern Bank Arena.
Yeah, very good. I think one thing that you gain having the state championship here in Southwest Missouri is there's just so many casual high school basketball fans that you get those fans flocking in, along with a lot of the schools that are bringing people and bringing teams to this area. One thing that really amazed me was the number of fans that were at the classes 1, 2, and 3 state championships. Those were a lot of fun to watch. Great high school atmosphere, and you figure some of these schools come from gyms that hold maybe 500 people to the whole lower bowl being filled. And you look at the Class 3 girls state championship game with Fairgrove and El Dorado Springs. That was an incredible high school atmosphere, and what a state championship game should be about and be like. Springfield's loss is Columbia's gain. I've heard a lot of comments pro and against moving it back to Columbia, but time will tell. Both are great facilities, and both have done a very good job of hosting the state championship. But I really think the Great Southern Bank Arena is just a good place, holds a good atmosphere for high school state championship games.
I agree. It's going to be a loss, but hopefully in the next 5 years, we'll get back to some normalcy here and get it back here to where I consider it should be. Guy, BA, thank you for the updates on the winners here at Missouri Sports Network. We want to congratulate all the winners and those that didn't take home the ultimate prize. You all had great seasons. Continue to keep your head up. We look forward to covering you again next year. Hey, right now you listen to Huddle Up here on the Missouri Sports Network inside the Pizza Ranch studio. That is our high school sports basketball wrap-up. We'll be right back. We're going to kind of get in on some of our local collegiate athletes and some of our teams here and bring some light to what their seasons, how they ended or how they're still going on. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Huddle Up.